Time to do the AFC West. Let's get right into it with the Denver Broncos. A quarterback battle going on between Trevor Siemian, last year's starter, and Paxton Lynch, last year's first-round pick. Siemian started last year, and he did solid work. It wasn't enough to get them back to the playoffs, but it was enough for them to compete week in and week out. Lynch started a few games when Siemian was hurt, and he didn't do all that well. He did show that he was a rookie, wasn't really ready to start, and that's why they sat him last year. So this year, I would give the edge to Siemian just because he was a starter last year, but don't be surprised if Lynch starts, if he shows the coaching staff that he is ready to go. And their biggest storyline is, will they have enough to get back to the playoffs? The defense is great, but they can't do it by themselves. Okay, the offense has two great wide receivers in Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas, but the running game is a little bit of a question mark, and I mentioned quarterback position. So, do they have enough offense to get back to the playoffs? We'll see soon. Kansas City has Philip Gaines, Steven Nelson, and Terrence Mitchell trying to become the starter next to Marcus Peters. This is very important because Ron Parker, Eric Berry, and Marcus Peters have the other three spots. They don't want to have a weak point in that secondary, or else teams are just going to be throwing it on that side because they know they're getting easy completions. Alright, Kansas City has got to find a solid corner out of one of these three guys, and that secondary is going to be great this year. Their biggest storyline is, who takes over Jerry Macklin's role? Okay, that was a shock around the league when Jerry Maclin was cut. He had a down year, but he was doing what Kansas City paid him to do. So, who takes over that role? Well, you do have Chris Conley, Tyreek Hill, and a few others that are possibly going to take over that role. But we'll get a clear answer to that during the preseason and training camp. I'll be honest with you guys, the Los Angeles Chargers was the toughest team I've had to do because I took a look at their positions, and they're pretty much set. And that was to my surprise. But I did notice some weakness in the guard position, just because Phillip Rivers is 35 years old, so they need to keep him upright, keep him from getting sacked. So there might be a few battles for those two guard positions. There might not be, but it is something to look out for. And the biggest storyline is how they're going to do in LA. The Rams moved to LA last year, didn't have a great season, but that was more on the team than that was the move. With the Chargers, they look like they could compete for a playoff spot. So, is moving going to be a little bit of a distraction for them? I'm not sure, but this is a storyline to look out for. And finally, we have Oakland, who have a middle linebacker spot to fill. And they'll have Ben Heaney, Corey James, and Markel Lee as the options there. I have mentioned this time and time again. Middle linebacker is one of the most important positions on a defense. You don't have a solid middle linebacker, the defense is not going to go very far. Oakland already has a very solid defense, and with a solid middle linebacker, they'll be top 15 at the least. And their biggest storyline is Derek Carr. Had Derek Carr not broken his leg, I believe Oakland might have had a first-round bye and could have gone to the AFC Championship game. Okay? I'm not saying they would have. I said they could have. Are there going to be any lingering effects from that? Is Carr going to be affected a little bit during training camp, the preseason, or even during part of the regular season? Or is he just going to be back to normal like that? I don't know, but we are going to find out soon. Guys, thanks for watching this video. I only have one more training camp preview left, and then this series is done. So, see you then.